I yelled at my mom that I hate Harry Potter and to let me live my own life. So, my mom has been obsessed with Harry Potter since the books came out. Like, completely obsessed. Our house looks like a Hogwarts gift shop exploded. We have house banners hanging in every room, floating candles in the dining room, and she literally painted Platform 9 and 3-4 on our garage wall. She even named our cat Hedwig. When I was little, I thought it was cool. Mom would read me the books every night. We'd have movie marathons, and she'd make these elaborate birthday parties with sorting hat ceremonies for my friends. But as I got older, it started getting weird. Really weird. She insisted I get a Harry Potter-themed everything. My backpack, my lunchbox, my bedroom walls covered in Gryffindor red and gold. When I turned 16, she tried to throw me a Hogwarts acceptance letter party. I'm talking full costume requirements for guests, butterbeer, and a fake sorting ceremony. I was mortified. The breaking point came last month when I brought my girlfriend Emma over for dinner. Mom spent the entire meal quizzing Emma about Harry Potter trivia. Like aggressive quizzing. She'd ask things like, "What's the incantation for the Patronus charm?" And when Emma said she didn't know, Mom would get this disappointed look and explain it in detail. Then Mom suggested we all play a Harry Potter board game after dinner. Emma politely said she wasn't really into Harry Potter, and I watched my mom's face just drop. She got this hurt expression like Emma had personally insulted her. After Emma left, Mom cornered me in the kitchen. She said Emma seemed nice, but maybe I should date someone who shared my interests more. I told her Harry Potter wasn't my interest. It was hers. She looked confused and said, "But we've always loved it together." That's when I snapped. I told her I never actually loved Harry Potter. I just went along with it because I was a kid and wanted to make her happy. I said I was tired of my entire identity being wrapped up in a book series I didn't even care about anymore. She started crying and said she thought we had this special bond. I felt bad for making her cry, but I was also frustrated because she never asked what I actually liked. She just assumed I wanted to live in her fantasy world forever. The next day, she didn't speak to me. She took down some of the Harry Potter decorations in the common areas, but left my room untouched. It felt weird seeing our house look normal for once. A week later, I came home to find a bunch of college brochures on my desk. Not Hogwarts-themed ones, just regular college stuff. She'd also bought me a plain black backpack to replace my Hufflepuff one. When I found her in the kitchen, she was reading a parenting book called When Your Kids Outgrow Your Dreams. She looked up and said she was sorry for not noticing I'd grown up. She said she got so caught up in trying to keep our childhood magic alive that she forgot I needed space to figure out who I was, without her hobbies defining me. I apologized for yelling, and we talked for like 2 hours. Turns out she was scared that when I stopped liking Harry Potter, we wouldn't have anything to connect over anymore. I told her there were plenty of things we could bond over that were actually about me as a person. We decided to start a new tradition. Every Sunday we try something I was interested in. So far, we've gone to art museums, tried rock climbing, and she even came to one of my football games. She still has her Harry Potter stuff, but now it's contained to her own spaces. Emma came over again last week, and Mom asked her about her major and her family, instead of interrogating her about fictional spells. It was the first time I felt like my mom was actually trying to get to know the real me, instead of the kid version she'd created in Herstory 2. My daughter told me, "You're just a wallet to me, not a father." I smiled and said, "Understood." Then I canceled her trust fund and donated her college tuition for education of orphans. Her tune changed when her real dad refused to pay her bills. I, 51 male, have been divorced from my ex-wife Lena, 49, for 12 years. The divorce was messy. She had a long-term affair with a man named Greg, 50, who she subsequently moved in with and eventually married. I got hammered in the divorce. Despite the infidelity, the court leaned heavily in her favor. I paid significant alimony for a decade, which just ended last year. I paid child support for our daughter, Maya, 19, until she turned 18. But the legal requirements were just the beginning. I also agreed outside the court order to cover everything for Maya. I wanted her to have the best. This included full tuition, room board, and fees at a prestigious private university, about $70,000 a year. A brand new compact SUV in her name, which I paid for. The insurance and gas for said car. A generous monthly allowance transferred directly to her debit card. A fully paid for phone on my family plan. A revocable trust fund I established myself. seated with a significant portion of my own investments set to transfer to her on her 25th birthday. I'm a software consultant. I do well, but this level of support required me to keep taking high-stress projects I would have otherwise passed on. I did it because she's my daughter. Lena and Greg, meanwhile, live a bohemian lifestyle. Greg is a sculptor who sells maybe 2 pieces a year. He's been the fun dad. Well, I've been the check-writing dad. I lived with this. I accepted it until last Friday. Maya was home for a weekend visit, which was rare. Usually she's too busy. She came over to my house, earbuds in, barely making eye contact. "Hey Maya, how are classes?" She shrugged. "Fine, just fine." "That's good." "Hey, I was looking at the preliminary budget for my next project." And she yanked her earbuds out. "Oh my God, can you not?" "I just got here. I literally just need to pick up my allowance. Can we just get this over with?" I felt that familiar cold prickle. "Maya, I'm just trying to talk to you. I'm your father." She actually laughed. A short barking laugh. My father, Greg, is my father. He's the one who's there for me. He helps me with my art projects. He talks to me about my life. She stepped closer, her face set in that look of pure, unadulterated teenage contempt. A look I'm sure her mother practiced in the mirror. "You want to know what you are?" she said, her voice dripping with scorn. "You're a wallet. You're just a wallet to me, not a father. You're the ATM, and honestly, you're not even a very good one. You're always budgeting or planning projects." Greg says, "If you really loved me, you wouldn't have to budget my allowance." I just stared at her. 12 years of missing school events because Lena forgot to tell me. 12 years of her real dad, Greg, using my money to take her on vacations. I couldn't afford because I was paying for his life. All the hurt, the frustration, the exhaustion, it just vanished. It was replaced by a sudden cold clarity. The machine was broken. The transaction was over. I smiled, a small, tight smile. "Understood." I walked to my desk, took the pre-written check for her monthly allowance out of the drawer, and handed it to her. "Here you go," I said. My voice was perfectly calm. She snatched it. "Finally, I'll see you at Christmas, maybe." "I wouldn't count on it," I said, still smiling. She rolled her eyes and left, slamming the door. I sat at my desk for a full 10 minutes. Then I picked up my phone. My first call. "Hi, David. It's Paul. I need to start the process of dissolving the revocable trust I set up for Maya. Yes, the whole thing. I want to liquidate the assets and transfer the principal to my personal portfolio. Yes, I'm sure. University Bursar's office. Hello, my name is Paul Kingaid. I'm the primary account holder for student Maya. I need to cancel the current payment plan for the upcoming spring semester. Yes, I am canceling all future payments. She will be responsible for the tuition bill moving forward. Can you confirm the balance will be directed to her, not me? Excellent. My Bank 520 college savings plan. I was the owner of her 529 plan. The funds were significant. Hi, I need to process a non-qualified withdrawal for the entire balance of account ending in 55P21. Yes, I'm aware of the 10% penalty and the income tax implications. That's fine. Please process it. Hi, Janet Pollincade. I just wanted to give you a heads up. I've initiated several large financial changes regarding my daughter Maya. I suspect my ex-wife Lena will be in touch. I want you on retainer. Phone company. Logged in online. Cancelled Mia's line for my family plan. Her phone would be a brick by midnight. Car insurance. Logged in online. Removed her from my policy. The car itself is in her name. I paid cash for it. A mistake in hindsight, so that's her problem. Driving uninsured is a bad idea, but that's on her now. After the 529 withdrawal cleared my bank, minus the hefty tax and penalty, I took the remaining 6-figure sum and made a single irrevocable donation to a foundation that provides scholarships and grants to orphans and foster children. I even called the director and told them I wanted the grant named after my own parents who had passed away. They were understandably ecstatic. I transferred her allowance money into my own retirement fund. Then I made a large cup of coffee, sat on my patio, and for the first time in 12 years, I didn't feel like an ATM. I just felt quiet. Now I wait. Update 1. It took 9 days. I was actually surprised it took that long. I'd expected the phone to be the first domino, but I guess she just thought her service was bad, or used a university Wi-Fi. The call didn't come from Maya. Of course not. It came from Lena. I was in the middle of a code review and her name flashed on my screen. I let it go to voicemail. I listened to it a few minutes later. It was spectacular. "Cole, what in the hell did you do?" Maya just called me. Crying her eyes out.
The university just registered her from all her spring classes.
They said her tuition bill of over $35,000 is past due. Her account is frozen.
This has to be some kind of mistake.
You fix this. You fix this right now. I saved the voicemail. Then I texted her back.
Lena, all communication must go through my lawyer, Janet. Here is her number.
2 hours later, my lawyer's office called. Paul, Janet said, and I could hear the smile in her voice. I just had the most energetic call from a Mr. Peterson who represents your ex-wife, and he's accusing you of parental financial abandonment and intentional infliction of emotional distress on your daughter. He demanded you immediately reinstate the tuition, the trust, and a new larger allowance to compensate for the trauma. What did you tell him?
I told him that child support is terminated, as is alimony. All other financial support was a voluntary gift which you've chosen to stop giving.
I also accidentally let slip that the funds formerly earmarked for her tuition have already been donated to the Kincaid Memorial Grant for Orphans. I believe his exact words were, "He did what?"
Janet informed me they were filing an emergency motion to try and force me to pay. It's baseless, she said. He knows it.
I know it. It's a scare tactic.
Just sit tight. The real fun started that evening.
I had 2 police officers show up at my door.
My heart jumped into my throat.
"Sir, are you Paul King?" The older one asked, hand near his belt. "Yes, is something wrong? We received a call from your ex-wife, Miss Lena. She's concerned for your welfare. She said you've been acting erratically, liquidating assets."
And that she's afraid you're having a mental breakdown and might be a danger to yourself. The unstable man card. A classic I had to bite my cheek to keep from laughing.
"Officers, I assure you I am perfectly fine. My ex-wife is distraught. I recently decided to stop paying my 19-year-old adult daughter's private university tuition. The erratic liquidation she's referring to was a donation I made to a charity. Would you like to see the receipt?" I showed them the letter from the foundation, thanking me for my massive life-changing donation. The younger cop's eyes went wide.
The older one just sighed, clearly realizing what this was.
She also said, "You're not answering your phone." He said, "Just to check the last box. I've been advised by my lawyer to direct all her communication through legal channels, as this is a financial dispute. Here is my lawyer's card," I said, handing it to him. He took it. "Right. Well, sir, you seem fine."
Sorry to have bothered you.
This is a civil matter, I know."
Thank you for your time, officers.
As they walked away, I heard the younger one mutter, "A donation? Holy crap!" The mask was off. This wasn't about love or fatherhood.
It was a business transaction, and they were furious. I had breached a contract that never actually existed.
The texts from Maya started an hour after the cops left. She must have gotten a new prepaid phone.
It was a flood of messages.
"You're a monster. You're ruining my life over one little comment. I'm going to be homeless. Greg is so disappointed in you. This is all Mom's fault. She's the one who says that stuff." A nice little bus toss there. Then after about 20 minutes of abuse, the tone shifted. "Daddy, please." "I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I was just stressed. Please, I'll do anything. I'll get better grades. I'll call you every week. Please, just turn the money back on. I can't go to community college. All my friends are here. Please, Daddy, I love you." I read that last line, "I love you," and I felt nothing. Absolutely nothing. The account was overdrawn. I replied with the same text I sent her mother. "Maya, all communication must go through my lawyer.
Here's her number."
I blocked her. Final update. It's been 4 months. The emergency court hearing was a disaster for them. Lena, Maya, and their lawyer, Mr. Peterson, showed up looking somber. Maya had clearly been coached to cry, which she did on too, dabbing her eyes. Peterson argued that I had established a pattern of support that amounted to an implied contract, and that by cutting it off so suddenly, I was acting in a malicious and punitive manner.
Then Janet got up.
She was magnificent. "Your Honor," she began, "Mr. Kincaid has done nothing but support his daughter financially for her entire life, going far beyond any legal obligation. This was a gift, and a gift by its very definition is voluntary." She then submitted into evidence my last 12-month bank statements showing the massive cash outflow for tuition, allowance, insurance, etc. The police report from the fraudulent welfare check, which the judge looked very unhappy about. A printout of the text messages.
From Maya culminating in her, "Daddy, I love you."
Please turn the money on text, and the pester resistance a copy. Of the final processed irrevocable donation to the Orphans Grant Foundation, Your Honor. Janet said the money is gone. It is educating children who, unlike Miss Cade, have no wallet to turn to. Mr. King's. Decision to redirect his generosity to a more appreciative recipient is not a crime.
It's a choice. A choice his adult daughter and ex-wife are now trying to litigate because they feel entitled to his labor. The judge looked at Maya. "Young lady, did you truly tell your father he was nothing but a wallet to you?" Maya stammered.
I was upset. I didn't mean it. The judge just shook his head. He dismissed their motion with prejudice, meaning they can't file it again. He even warned Mr. Peterson about sanctions for filing a frivolous motion, calling the fraudulent welfare check particularly troubling.
Lena was bright red. Maya was no longer crying.
She was just staring at me with pure hatred. I walked out of the courtroom and didn't look back.
The story doesn't end there, though.
The best part happened last week. I got a call from an unknown number. I normally don't answer, but I was expecting a contractor. Paul, hey. Hey, man. It's Greg. I was so shocked I couldn't speak.
Greg, the real dad.
"Listen, man," he said,
his voice wheedling and uncomfortable. "I think we got off on the wrong foot here.
This whole thing has been blown way out of proportion."
You think?
Yeah. And look, Lena she's very high-rung and Maya's a good kid.
She's just, spoiled. But that's, on all of us.
Is there a point to this call, Greg?
Right. Look, Maya, she had to drop out. She's not happy.
She's enrolled at the local community college for the fall. But even that, it's not free. I'm aware.
And she needs a car to get there, and her phone.
Listen, I'm just calling man to wallet, I guess. He chuckled awkwardly. I was hoping for Maya's sake, you could find it in your heart to, maybe just help out with the little stuff again. The car insurance, maybe a small allowance.
Lena and my sculpture sales have been slow.
We just can't swing the lifestyle she's accustomed to.
The sheer unmitigated gall.
He was the real dad, but he was calling the ATM to cover his bills. I started to laugh. It wasn't a happy laugh.
It was a cold, rusty sound that I didn't recognize. "Greg," I said, finally catching my breath.
"I'm going to give you some free financial advice. The car I bought her, it's in her name.
She can sell it.
That should cover her community college for a year.
As for her allowance, there's a coffee shop down the street from your apartment that's hiring. That's what a real dad would tell her."
Greg started to sputter. "Now wait a minute, man.
That's not Greg." I cut him off.
"I am no longer in business. The wallet is closed permanently."
"You won. You're the real dad."
"Enjoy the promotion. You've certainly earned it." I hung up. I heard through my ex-sister-in-law, who actually respects me, that the fallout has been nuclear. Maya is apparently a holy terror to live with. Furious that she has to work 20 hours a week, and that Greg and Lena can't fund her old life.
Their bohemian artist's loft is apparently not so fun when it's crowded with a resentful 19-year-old who blames them for her fall from grace. As for me, I took the money from the dissolved trust and booked a 3-month trip. I'm leaving next week.
I'm going to see places I've only read about on projects I was taking to pay for someone else's life. My phone is quiet. My bank account is for the first time in a long time just mine.
And the thank you letter I got from the first recipient of the King Memorial Grant is framed on my desk. Turns out I am a father figure, just not to the person I thought.